Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another meal prep. We're going to start with a white chicken chili that I'm going to make in my crock pot. So we're going to go ahead and put that in there and then we'll get rid of the rest of the prep. So we need 2 pounds of chicken breast, 2 cans of Great Northern beans that you want to drain but don't rinse, some diced green chilies. You need 2 cups of golden corn or whatever kind of corn you want. I like the super sweet corn. You need 1 3/4 cup of broth. I like to use the better than bouillon. And then you need quite a few spices. So we need 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, and then we need 1 teaspoon of the Lori's seasoning salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And then at the very end, we're going to add in 1/2 cup of half and half and 4 ounces of light cream cheese. So the first thing we're going to do is add the chicken to your crock pot. And the recipe I'm going to link down below is from the Skinny-ish dish. And she does it in her Instant Pot. I like to do it in the crock pot. I just feel like the flavors just melt together a lot better. So I have 2 pounds of chicken breast in here. I added the seasoning on top of the chicken breast. It just really helps like kind of flavor everything. And then I put the 2 cans of the Great Northern beans. And instead of mixing up the chicken broth with the better than bouillon, I always just put in like a teaspoon of the bouillon, and then I just put in however much water. And it just kind of flavors it. I just rather do that than have to make the broth. And then we're going to do 2 cans of the diced green chilies. These are the 5-ounce cans. You can also get the spicy ones, which I do suggest if you like spicy stuff, but my store did not have any, so I just got the mild. And you want to just add those in there. And I just want to stress, do not put your cream cheese or your half and half in at this point. You're going to wait till the very end. This is just everything else. And then do about 2 cups of corn. I like to use frozen corn. I just feel like it just stays together better than canned corn. I've had canned corn before just kind of more fall apart, but I just feel like the frozen corn just works so much better in these recipes. And then you're going to put this on whatever temperature you want, however long. I did high because I wanted to only cook it for 4 hours. So I put mine on the high crock pot setting for 4 hours. And then we're going to go ahead and let that sit, and we'll come back to that at the very end of the meal prep video. But next up, we're going to make some low-carb protein pumpkin pancakes. So my original plan was to use like almond flour and baking soda and all that stuff. However, you guys know I'm trying to clean out my pantry. And I had a little bit of this low-carb, keto-friendly pancake mix, so I thought I'm just going to use that. And then I wanted to put in some Greek yogurt in place of the eggs and oil. So I'm using the pumpkin pie Greek yogurt. I wanted to add a little bit of protein, so I'm adding some of this Buttery Blend Devotion protein powder. I have a ton of this stuff. I just have not used it. And then, of course, you're going to need pumpkin and pumpkin pie spice. Now, I will link a few recipes down below if you guys want to make this from scratch, if you don't have any pancake mix like I did. But I'm using a cup of pancake mix. That was literally all I had left in the bag. So it was great to be able to use up, again, like things out of my pantry. And then I'm just adding that protein powder in there. I just wanted to kick up the protein a little bit. And like I said, I have a ton of this Buttery Blend protein powder I have not used. But you can use any protein powder you want. And then I had some leftover pumpkin from last week. So this was, I think, I figured about 2/3 of a cup of pumpkin puree. And then, like I said, I planned on using plain non-fat Greek yogurt in this to kind of take place of any eggs or oil that the recipe called for. But I thought I'm just going to use the pumpkin just to kind of add a little bit more pumpkin flavor to that. And then I'm going to give that a good stir, and I added in a ton of pumpkin pie spice because, again, I feel like you cannot get enough pumpkin pie spice and things. I would say I probably put in about 2 teaspoons. And then it's kind of, you need to really kind of work it. I ended up adding just a touch of water. I would say maybe like 2 tablespoons of water, so just whatever you want to do. But I feel like making pancakes and waffles is so forgiving. Like, you can literally just throw anything in there to make a dough. And that's kind of what I did. I just wanted to just kind of throw some stuff together. But like I said, you could do this from scratch, and I will link a couple recipes down below that I had planned on using, and it was a couple recipes I was going to kind of combine together. But just look up out there pumpkin pancakes, but honestly, using like some sort of mix helps. You can use like the Kodiak cakes. I use that too a lot. I'm just going to use my little Dash mini waffle maker, and I spray it with some cooking spray. I'm going to let that heat up. And then I just put on about a 1/4 cup. I was using a 1/4 cup measuring cup, and I wanted to, try to make them as even as possible. I plan on actually having these for dinner one night as a breakfast for dinner, but I also think I'm going to have these as snacks. I've been like craving pancakes lately for some reason. I had them at a conference about 2 weeks ago, and I don't know, just been thinking about pancakes a lot since then. And so you can see how they come out all nice and toasty. And I love how these come out where I can just throw them in my toaster and toast them up. You can throw these in your freezer if you want. Like, I think I'm going to start like making these. I think they'll make a really good snack. You know how sometimes you just like crave like savory, kind of sweet and savory things for snacks? That's kind of what I've been doing lately. So I'm just going to continue making my pancakes, and we'll see how many we get. I love these little Dash waffle makers. I just feel like they're the perfect size. They work so well, and they just come out perfect every time. I don't know. I really like them. I have a pancake one also, and I think you can buy like seasonal ones. Like you can get like pumpkin shaped ones and Christmas shaped ones, and all of that. I ended up getting 7 pancakes or 7 waffles out of this. So up here on the screen, I will put the points for one pancake or waffle and the calories, protein, and all of that. I'll put that here on the screen for one of them. And I plan on telling you that I probably plan on having 2 of these is what I will plan having, with like some sugar-free syrup, or like pair it with some yogurt or something like that. Next up, I'm going to make some dip. So I just wanted to use some of my plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Normally I would do like the whole like container and just, stir the dip mix into there. But I needed my plain non-fat Greek yogurt. I like to top it on my white chicken chili. So I just took some out. I'm just going to add in this entire thing of ranch seasoning. I just kind of taste it as I go along just to kind of see how it tastes. Another way you can make this, you guys know I make it all the time, is with cottage cheese. But this week I had the yogurt, so I thought I'd just do it with the yogurt. But I do like to do it with the cottage cheese as well. It tastes just as yummy. But this is just an easy dip. Another good dip is using the onion soup mix from Lipton. Again, just put it into your Greek yogurt or blend it up in with some blended cottage cheese, and you just add that in there. But this week we're going to do ranch, and we'll be pairing this with some carrots and cucumbers. But I like to do like little meal prep things like this. And like I said, I'm making my waffles in the background there. So those were some things that I could get done while I was making those waffles, because I want to multitask as much as I can. Another thing I wanted to get done while I was making those waffles is to make some cold brew. So I'm going to use this smoked butterscotch from Starbucks. Now, one of my biggest questions I get is how many cups of coffee grounds do I use to make my cold brew? So I never really measure it out. I just kind of fill it up. So I just wanted to measure it out this time, so I could tell you how much I use. So I'm using a 1/2 cup measuring cup. Now, one thing I do is I just kind of mix it up, because I'll tell you, I have gone through many cold brew makers, and this one by far I find is the best. However, I think it's how I learned how to make the cold brew though too. So I always add a little bit of water in there, and then I take a knife and I kind of mix it up to make sure that the grounds are completely getting covered with water. And that way I can always make sure that we are completely filled with water. So I'll just add in some grounds, I add in some water, I take the knife and just mix it around. And I feel like that is like key. And I think that's where I was going wrong before. I think I was not getting all the grounds completely saturated, and so I would come up with really super weak cold brew coffee. And ever since I started doing this new method, it has been perfection. So I used 1.5 cups of coffee grounds is what I ended up using. But I think depending on what cold brew maker you have, like this is a pretty large one. I believe this is a 1/2 gallon one. So it just really depends on how big your cold brew maker is. I just fill it up. I fill it up to the top of where they're all going to get wet. So I just, otherwise you're just going to end up with dry grounds on top anyway. I like to sit this on my counter for at least 12 hours. Some people say put it in your refrigerator. I prefer to leave it on the counter until it's all done brewing, and then I will put it in the refrigerator. So I can't wait to try this smoked butterscotch. The last thing we're going to make is going to be some kale salad. So you guys know I've been obsessed with the kale cranberry pecan salad from Walmart. So we are going to replicate that. So the first thing I'm going to do, just to make it easy, is I'm going to weigh out all of my condiments. So I'm going to use some chopped pecans. I'm doing a half serving of the chopped pecans. So I'm going to do about 14 grams of them. And I'm going to chop them up just a little bit more, just so I feel like I'm getting, more out of them. So I'm going to do that, and it just makes it easy to do it this way, to kind of weigh them all out ahead of time. I know it just seems like I could just do them per salad, but since I am filming this for meal prep, it's easy to have all these ingredients like out and already all measured out. No, I probably typically would not do it this way if I was not filming a video. So I know it seems like a lot of work having all these little dishes of, of ingredients, but it just makes it much easier for videos. And then we're going to use some dried cranberries. These are 50% less sugar. So again, I'm just going to do the half of the serving that's on the back of the bag. I feel like this is really representative of what's in those little packages that come in those salads. I believe this salad kit is the one from Market Side from the Walmart brand. It is 2.5 servings. And with the dressing, it ends up being a 6-point salad for me. So I do think that I'm using more cranberries and more nuts than what normally come in that salad, because this came up to quite a few more points. I'm going to do some Frigo blue cheese crumbles. This, of course, is not in that salad. It doesn't come with any cheese, but I just wanted to add a little bit more flavor. And if you don't like blue cheese, then you could use like feta cheese or just leave the cheese out. I just did it, just like I said, to add more flavor, texture, and all of that. But I absolutely love blue cheese. It's one of my favorite cheeses. So anytime I can throw blue cheese in a salad, yum. And then next up, we're going to do some kale. So I'm using this kale that actually already seems like it's pretty tender, but I've always been told, massage your kale. And I've always seen it like massage it with oil. So I did a little bit of checking, and I found that you don't have to use oil to massage your kale. It says just anything acidic, or you could use your salad dressing that you're planning on using. But because my salad dressing is not here yet, I ordered it from Amazon, I'm just going to use some lemon juice and then some salt. And it just says to just kind of mush it between your fingers, and this is supposed to kind of take out the bitterness of the kale, and it's supposed to make it really tender. Now, I would say I did this for maybe about a minute at the most. They say to do it until your kale just feels softer and it turns like a dark green, which mine did. So don't feel like you have to use oil. Like I said, I looked up a lot of things, and it came up with like use lemon juice, or like I said, they say to use the salad dressing that you're going to use on your salad. But because I'm meal prepping this ahead of time, I probably wouldn't have done that anyway, even if the salad dressing hadn't came in yet. But just kind of just smush it between your fingers and just go with that. And I'll tell you, I did learn that this kale actually, it just kind of tends to lose its volume, and I ended up having to get more out. And then I have this baby kale, which I was not a fan of. So I did have this salad today for lunch. So I filmed all this stuff yesterday, and then today I had this for lunch. And I'll tell you, I was not a fan of the baby kale. I thought it was super bitter, and I didn't really think that I had to massage it because it was, baby leaves. But maybe I should have, but I just wasn't a fan. So if I make this again, which I know I will because it's a great salad, I will leave out the baby kale. And then I'm going to add in some shredded carrot. So the salad I get from Walmart has the kale, the shredded carrots, the pecans, and the cranberries. And then it has some sort of Dijon dressing. It doesn't really say what kind. It just says Dijon vinaigrette. So the rest of this is really pretty much the same as that salad. And then I'm going to also cut up an apple because I want to make this kind of more fallish, and just adding, like I said, making it more a meal. So I am going to go ahead and core an apple and slice it up. Now, because I like to leave the peel on my apples, I just like the taste of the apple peel, and you do get a lot of the fiber in the peel. So I'm just going to kind of chop these up. I'm going to use 1 apple per bowl salad. So I'll just split this in half and just put half the apple, because this is a pretty good size apple. So I'm going to put half the apple in each one of the salads. I'm just going to chop them up, and now because I don't want the apple to turn brown, I'm actually going to toss it in some lemon juice. So I'm just going to put it all in here, and then I'm just going to take some lemon juice and then just kind of squirt it in there and just mix it around, and this will stop it from getting brown. And I'll tell you right now, like I said, I made it on Sunday. I'm doing my voiceover on Monday night, and it was not brown at all. Now, this is the dressing I picked up in case my Amazon order did not come in, because I've had that happen. So this is the poppy seed skinny girl. I really like this dressing a lot. But the one that I did order for this, which it did end up coming in, was the honey Dijon. But I think either one of these dressings would be perfect for this salad. But I did have it today with the honey Dijon. Highly recommend this salad dressing. Now to build our salads. So like I said, this makes it so easy having the ingredients already prepped ahead of time. So I'm going to put the pecans in the bottom. Anytime you're building like a salad in a jar, you want kind of the stuff on the bottom that, well, usually you put your salad dressing in the bottom. So then you want to put stuff in order of where it doesn't get soggy. That's why you put the lettuce on the top. But because I don't typically put my salad dressing in the bottom, I do sometimes, but not all the time. I do like to kind of put it in layers of how when I dump it into my bowl, that it won't, it'll kind of be in the layers that I like. Although I am just going to shake it up. Now at this point I realize, dang it. One, I'm running out of salad. Secondly, I forgot my apples. So I'm just going to put the apples here, and then I'm going to go massage some more kale so I could do some more salad. Because again, I ran out so easily because I forgot how much more bulk I can bulk it up with that kale. And I'll tell you, by morning though, this settled so much that kale shrunk even more. And I had probably a good like 2-inch gap at the top by morning with the salad. But the kale was not soggy at all. That's why I like using kale when you can in the salad in the jar, because it does not get soggy at all. Now I did cook up some chicken tenders in my air fryer. So I wanted these to be separate, but you can throw them in your salad in your salad jar, if you don't think that you want to heat it up. Because I want my salad to have the chicken heated up, then I will have it on the side, and then I'll just heat up my chicken and then throw it on top of my salad. And then of course I'll put my salad dressing on the side and then just put it on top when I have it. Now it's time to take out the chicken out of here so we can shred it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in the 4 ounces of cream cheese and the half a cup of half and half. I'm going to add that in first before I add the chicken back in. That way it's just a lot easier to get that cream cheese to kind of reduce down. This is a multi-cooker that I'm cooking this in. It's like a crock pot, stove, oven, it's everything. So I went ahead and turned this to boil. Then that way I could heat up the cream cheese and the half and half and kind of get it, more dissolved. And then I added my chicken back in. I just pulled my chicken breasts out, shredded those up, added the cream cheese and the half and half, then added the chicken back in. And you guys, this was only like 2 chicken breasts, and look how much chicken you get. So good. And then I just let it simmer. I turned mine to simmer at that point, and I let it simmer for about 30 minutes just to kind of get all the flavors melded together. And this is what it looks like when it's all done. You guys, doesn't that look amazing? I'll tell you what. The flavor on this chili is just so amazing, and I'll probably be having this for dinner at least 2 or 3 times this week, and I'm not mad about it. Here is how I typically serve up the white chicken chili. I put plain non-fat Greek yogurt, or you could use sour cream, cilantro, green onions, and normally I use tortilla strips, but I didn't have any, so I used 3 tortilla chips and just crumbled them up and put them on top. And that, you guys, is my meal prep for the week. So thank you guys, as always, for taking time out of your day to watch my videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.